Hello everyone! In this tutorial, I will show you how to set up online forms and receive submissions on Tilda. In general, creating and setting up any online form on Tilda looks pretty much the same. In this tutorial, I will show you how it works using block BF204N as an example. In the similar way, you will be able to set up pop-ups, data collection forms, and online forms from the cover category. Let's go over the basics. Say we are making a web page for a cooking workshop and we need a registration form. Let me add the vertical form with multiple inputs block and set it up. Let me quickly explain how to work with Tilda blocks. Every block on Tilda has two tabs for customizing. In the Content tab, you can create and adjust input fields. Here, you can connect services where you will receive form submissions, change the name of the button, and add the link to a success page. And in the Settings tab, you can customize the appearance of the form and give it a system name so that you can identify where the data comes from. All the submissions are automatically saved in the List section in your account, where you can see the list of submitted data, spot the errors, and figure out how to fix them. First, we open the Content tab and design the block's header. The header usually serves to reveal the content of the block. In this case, it won't hurt to give the user additional motivation to fill out the online form. Let's name it Sign Up for an Italian Chef's Cooking Workshop. In the description, I will type June 27th at 12 p.m. Pesto Culinary Studio. Moving on to the most important thing for any form, the input fields. There are several fields already added here by default, but I'll remove all of them to show you the whole process from A to Z. Let's start with the email field. Make sure to choose the right type of field. There are more than 20 of them on Tilda. Each field has a few mandatory parameters. Input placeholder. This is the text that is displayed in the field by default until the user clicks on it. Let's write your email here. Input title. This is the caption above the field. Input subtitle. This, as you can easily guess, is the text below the title. And the variable name. This is the system ID of the field, which is not visible to users. If a data collection service requires a specific variable name, you can set it here. For example, MailChimp has its own predefined variable names. I'll only fill the input placeholders, but in general, that's up to you. You can also mark the fields required in this case. I'll make the phone field obligatory. Now let's add the name field. The parameters here are all the same. Let's move on to the phone field. I added the appropriate field type. As a placeholder, I can write something like phone number. For the field of this type, you can choose a mask. Let me explain what a mask is and how it works. The mask helps to format the data to avoid incorrectly completed fields in the form. It prompts visitors whether to enter numbers or letters, how many characters are required, and so on. For example, it won't allow user to enter letters in the phone number field. There are two types of masks on Tilda: an automatic mask with country codes for phone numbers and a customizable mask for all other cases. The mask is used when a strict date format is required, such as year, month, date, or when the number you enter contains a certain number of characters, for example, a taxpayer ID number. Using a mask reduces the chance of errors and gives the user a better understanding of how to fill in this particular field. In this case, we have a field with a phone number, so we can leave the automatic mask with the country code. If you don't set a specific country manually and leave the default country code field empty, then the code will be determined automatically for the visitor depending on their location. This is the field I want to make required, so I'll put a check mark next to it. Now, I want to add a field that will help me to get to know the workshop audience better. I will choose the drop-down field type, in which I will ask them to rate how well they know Italian cuisine. In the value options field, I will write 0, average, and above average. In the first option in the list field, I will add a hint for users. Rate how well you know Italian cuisine. The variable will be called level. And the last field will address whether a participant wants to get a certificate at the end of the workshop. To do this, I use the checkbox field type and write, I want to get a personal certificate in the label section. This way, I, as an organizer, can prepare certificates in advance for those who want them. If necessary, you can set the item to be checked by default. The text on the bottom can also be edited in the Content tab. Let's write Enroll here. You can also set up a message about successful data submissions here. This text will appear when the user fills out the form and clicks the button. If everything works well, they will see either a standard message or the message that you specify here. For example, thank you for registering. There is also a field called Success Page URL. If you want to take the user to another web page once the form is filled out successfully, you can specify its link here. This is widely used to offer the user a bonus of some kind for subscribing or registering. And the text under Form field. It is often used to add the I agree to privacy policy checkbox with a link to the legal documents. As a rule, you are required by law to obtain users' consent before proceeding to process their requests with personal data. You can copy the text suggested below, paste it here, and add a link to the separate page or pop-up in the right place, for example, to the words privacy policy. Let's save the changes and see what we have. It may seem that the form is ready, but there are a few more important things you should know. First off, where do submissions end up? Even if you haven't connected any data collection service, all the submissions will be sent to the lead section of your project. On the main page of your project, there is a button that brings you to the lead section. Here, you can see the list of all leads you received via forms. I have a couple of leads here. I click on one of them and get detailed info about it. I can see the date and time of the submission, the data that the visitor specified, their email address, phone number, etc. I can also see the technical information such as the URL of the page the lead came from and IDs that specify the submission origins. Here below, you can mark the lead as spam or delete it. Also, here on top, you have an error log section. You have to check it out in case there are any issues with receiving the form submissions. All the errors are logged here. You will see both the errors related to the third-party service issue and the ones related to the possible mistakes your visitors made while filling in the fields. You can check this section at any time to figure out the causes of any issues. Please note that the data in the lead section is saved for 30 days. If you want to save the submissions for a longer time, connect data receiver services. Let me explain how you can do this. All the available data receiving services are listed in the Content tab in the Form Data Receiver section. If you haven't yet connected any service, you need to go to the Forms section in the Site Settings. Here on top, you can see the services that are already connected. Below, there is a list of integrated services available for connection. You can receive captured data by email or via Google Sheets to a variety of popular CRM systems like HubSpot, Pipedrive, Zoho CRM, create mailing lists and services like MailChimp, SendPulse, Unisender, and some other services. The way to connect services is the same for all. First, you need to choose a service. For example, you want to see all your leads in a simple spreadsheet, so Google Sheets will be perfect. Click Connect Google Sheets. The application will ask for permission to access your Google account. Once permission is granted, a new spreadsheet will be created in your Google Drive, where form submissions will be sent to. Now, you can see the Google Sheets service among the connected ones. You can edit its settings at any time. Modify its title so that you can better understand which form the data is collected from, or connect the service to all your forms if you want to. Let's go back to the editor. Here in the Content tab of the form, the connected spreadsheet appeared. I selected and republished the page. Now, every form submission from this page will be automatically saved in the spreadsheet. In addition, you can send form submissions to Tilda CRM. It is a free CRM system that you can customize to suit your needs. Here are several lists that I have created as an example. It is convenient if you need to add submissions from different forms to different lists. Sales funnel stages help efficiently organize your leads. You can switch the view from table to Kanban so that you can simply drag and drop leads from the funnel stage to another. Click on a lead to see its detailed info. You can also manually add leads, sort them, download them as a table, delete it, as well as customize the list settings. Add and delete funnel stages, manage collaborators, adjust input fields, etc. Export the list as a CSV file or quickly switch between different lists. It's important to republish the page every time you modify any of the online form settings. Connect new services, edit the current ones. The modifications will be applied only after the page is published. Now let's work through the Settings tab. If you want the form to take less space on the page, you can reduce its width down to 6 columns, for example. If you have several forms on one page, you need to specify the name of the form in order to understand where the request came from. You can also change the style of the fields here: text color, border width, border radius, and so on. You can choose to only use the bottom border, or you can leave the placeholder visible after the user starts filling out the field. In the button section, you can change the background color, text color, and other settings. For example, the black color here doesn't seem quite right to me, so I can easily replace it with another one. I would also have to change the color of the text. Now it looks much better. You can animate buttons in the Animation tab, for example, add a flash effect. This will attract more of users' attention, but be careful not to overload the page with animation. Take a closer look at the following text. You can set up form submission as a goal in the analytics system. If you want to track the conversion rate of a particular form in Google Analytics, use the automatic submission of data on goal achievement by generating a so-called virtual page. In order to set up a goal in Analytics, you only need to provide a link to this virtual page as a condition of reaching the goal. In fact, no one will actually see this page, but every time the user fills out the form, it will be tracked by the analytics system. Here below, you can also have a name of the event for the Facebook pixel. In the preview mode, we can see what the form will look like on a published page. I think it looks pretty nice. That's it. Thanks a lot for watching this tutorial. If you want to learn more about online forms on Tilda, please head over to this Help Center article. The link to the article is in the description. In this article, you will find detailed instructions on how to set up data collection, connect each different services, as well as lists of possible errors when receiving form submissions. For example, one of the most common mistakes is that users forget to publish the page after connecting the service. Or some service may require a specific name for the variables in the fields. Check the full list of solutions to possible errors so that you'll be able to quickly fix them on your own. Create great forms on Tilda. All the best! Bye-bye!